Made a video yesterday, um, but I don't think I'm gonna post it. A little too emotional, you know? One thing I just really bothers me is when people talk about taking accountability. Specifically me taking accountability for my actions. What some people don't understand, I'd say a lot, unless you were there, is I've taken all the accountability. Back in 2021. So I've tried many times to tell this story, and it just never comes out right. It just never does. I can't ever explain it in a way that fully encapsulates. I can't say that word right now. Just how, like, the magnitude of what had happened and why I decided to take off my mask, and start finding, myself and who I am. I had it come to my attention just how horrible of a person I had become. Just how unacceptable and disgusting my behavior had become. I used to assume that I get with somebody and they're gonna cheat on me. And so I would just wait to catch them up, wait to see them do something they're not supposed to, lie about something that I know the truth to, and then I would use that as an excuse to do what the fuck I wanted with impunity. And then on the flip side of that, reason why I have so many fucking haters is a lot of these dudes will smile in my face, pretend like we're cool, and then they be running around pillow talking about hobby this and hobby that, running their mouth, or trying to, holler out my old lady and shit, pretending like we're good. I'd find these things out, and I'm coming after your heart, I'm gonna get you where it hurts. Every time. My motto back then was do them worse so they regret the day they did it first. Man, I lived up to that shit. But just like anything, over time, things start to get distorted. Excuses start to get made. Complacency starts to happen. Fucking habit, laziness, fucking just whatever fucking excuse there was to justify my behavior. I would use it, I would blow things out of proportion. Probably take things out of context. Fucking, make a mountain out of a molehill. Whatever the fuck, dude, I'd learned from the best, and I'd had my fair share with, disappointment and heartbreak and all the excuses you need to watch the world burn. you know, who I was just with. I chose her for the reasons why, like, she's getting outed right now, you know, in a way, you know. I knew what she was about from the jump. And I was with that. I was with all that. Just one thing I just didn't like was lying. Just these, the gaslighting type lies and shit. Like, it just fucking does something to me. And so, I do what I do best. Blame everybody else. And so, I'm doing what I do. Doesn't matter what happens, what's said, that I get caught. Doesn't matter. Why would it? She gonna leave? No. Nobody leaves me, you know? That was my thought process back then. But, I mean, when you look at it, did they? No. But to be fair, a lot of them did start the shit, you know? It's just, I have a hard time forgiving, you know? I don't like apologies. I do not apologize. And the reason for that is that you know damn well what the fuck you're doing. You know damn well what you're doing when you're doing it. So what the fuck you sorry for now? Because either on one end of it and shit, you're really not. You know, you're just sorry that you got caught. Want to get the fuck out the situation. You're just trying to say whatever you need to say for this to end. Or you're on a power trip to just get somebody to say that they're sorry. I'm not okay with any of that. I know what the fuck I was doing. I made the conscious decision to do that. I don't fly off the handle. I don't lose my composure. I don't explode. Tactical. Think it through. Plan it out. Execute that shit. Violence of action. Lethal. Straight up. But as time passed, there came a moment in time where I used to say my world exploded. What I feel like now, this was basically day zero, you know, the end of the world for me. Because when I decided to change and be a better person, I didn't realize it was going to cost me everything. Knowing who I was back then, if I would have known that, I probably wouldn't have changed. But thankfully I didn't, you know. You know, it was just one particular night in March 2021. Me and her had just been going back and forth for, you know, the last part of 2020 and into 2021, and just things were just not getting better, you know. Till one day, she just started talking to me about some of the things that I would do and the things that I would say and how it made her feel. She wasn't being aggressive. She wasn't being overly dramatic, lying about shit, fucking exaggerating, nothing. she was saying things to me about my behavior, how she looked at me. And for the first time in my life, I knew what it felt like to be held accountable for your actions, to finally understand some of the pain I was causing. Never thought about it. And if I did, I justified it with, well, you hurt me first, or whatever the fuck I wanted to say to blame shift and deflect and get that topic off of me. But this time was different. I knew in that moment I didn't want anybody in this world to view me in such a way. I never wanted to be associated with that person again. And in that moment, I didn't want to lose her. Hold on, I'm gonna pause this. So I changed. And I'm not talking like just little shit. You know, she's telling me about some of the things that, you know, I was doing and how I was making her feel. What really got to me though was you know, I used to drink a lot. And I just couldn't remember a lot of what she was saying. I'm sorry, hold on. That's better. So I didn't remember much that she was saying because I was drinking so much. But then she started telling me, you know, some of these things that I would say to her. And I knew she wasn't lying, even though I couldn't remember when I said it or why I said it. But I knew it was true because I had heard those words before, coming out of the mouths of men I grew up despising. Realizing that things had come full circle in my life and I had now become the men that I hated. The level of shame that I had at that time, I couldn't even describe it. I still can't describe it. I've tried to fucking say this story probably 100 times. There's just no words. I needed to change. And so I did. I didn't want to be associated with any part of who I used to be, anything I used to do. One thing I started doing is, because like I said, I didn't have, sorry. I didn't know what to do really, because like I said, I didn't want to lose her. But I had nothing to offer her. So I gave her my lies. I gave her all my lies. I gave her all of my manipulation, all of my tactics, all of my tells. I did that because I didn't want to ever use that shit on her again. I didn't want to use that shit on anybody ever again. I didn't want to lie to myself anymore either, you know? You know, I'd realized that I had become something that I didn't recognize. And I just started changing. And it just started happening. Like, it was just so surreal and crazy because the whole time it almost didn't even feel right. I always said, like, I mean, I used to say, like, the stars had to align, and, you know, and the planets had to, you know, be exactly where they were at in order for me to change my ways. What I now know and shit is, like, that shit wasn't supposed to happen, you know? I don't think that was ever in my cards for how my life was supposed to go. That I was ever gonna come to a point of taking responsibility for my actions. My whole life had been set up by trial and error and excuses and heartbreak and fucking debauchery and conniving and all that fucking shit. It all been set up to have me continue to just be this fucking piece of shit that I had become. But I wasn't letting this go. You know, as I made that decision to not be this person anymore, something else started happening. I started working, like, on my trauma, you know, and it started out very simple. I would think about something that I would do that was not okay, piss poor behavior, petty fucking behavior, fucking unbecoming of a fucking man, like, just, you know, just embarrassing shit, or just, like, anger and things that, you know, set me off or embarrass me or make me feel sad or something, you know, whatever, you know, I would just look at whatever I was doing or however I was reacting to things, and if I felt like it wasn't okay, I wanted to know why. Why is this happening? Why do I do this? Where did it come from? You know, when did it start? You know, and as I was dialing back the hands of, you know, of time, I started getting to, like, the root of my problems and my trauma. I'd start to find these answers of why I would behave the way that I do, or react to things the way that I do. And sometimes all I would need was just the answer, you know. Other times opening these fucking doors and shit opens up a whole nother door and a whole fucking deeper fucking rabbit hole that you have no idea that this isn't even a fucking problem compared to what it stems from. I was moving mountains, as I would say. You know, and I started doing all of that for her. Eventually it turned into doing it for me, you know. You know, things got progressively worse the better I became. She got progressively worse. But that's a story for another day. Because what I'm getting at is when I started taking stock and inventory of my behavior and my actions, I came to this sobering realization about the people I surrounded myself with. The way that I looked at it was, because I was so appalled and so embarrassed by the person I had become, I started looking at my friends and some of my close, acquaintances. I started judging them harshly. Because I felt like if you were complicit or going along with, enabling, participating in some of the things that I was doing and how I was treating people, and just my whole outlook on life. If you were okay with that kind of behavior and surrounding yourself with that kind of person, like, what does that say about you? And this is what people fucking hate to hear, People hate to hear that shit. You tell me, who the fuck are you? But it's like I'm telling you who I am and who I was, and you're still not seeing the fucking problem. So that makes you the fucking problem too. People don't want to hear that shit. So I started cutting everybody off. And that's how I started the video yesterday. Talking about like, nah, I cut you off first, But I did, I was such a piece of shit, and I was so bad as a human that my reflections that I cast on my friends, I judge them harshly for it. And for good reason, for good reason. But as I've seen, I was right, I've taken ultimate accountability for my actions. Some of you who think that you deserve an apology need to pull your fucking head out of your ass. If you're not getting an apology out of me, you're not fucking getting one. There's only 2 people in this world that I feel like I owe an apology to. Just 2. And I'll get to it when I get to it. But I guarantee it ain't you. I guarantee it ain't nobody watching right now. That doesn't make me a bad person. I was who I was. I've taken accountability for what I take accountability for. Now what I'm paying for, that's a whole nother story. And that's between me and God. That's not between me and you, Actions have consequences. I'm paying these consequences right now. I'm going through what I'm going through right now. Not because she's a fucking piece of shit. Like, she's doing her job. That's who she is. That's her fucking purpose. She's supposed to be that person. That's who she signed up to be when she fucking came here. She's doing exactly what she's supposed to be doing. is my fucking karma. If that doesn't show you just how bad like my behavior is, then I don't know what else, to try to explain to you. This shit's not happening for no reason. I didn't get shot 17 fucking times. I didn't get shot for no fucking affair. I had that shit coming though. He was just a dumb motherfucker to do it. Just like the homie who's been fucking Shalimar this whole time. Known this fool my whole life and shit. He doesn't even know that there was a fucking scoreboard. And he'd be lying if he said he did. I just didn't fucking care. You hurt me in the slightest, I'm gonna fucking come after you any chance I get. But it was all for reasons that weren't what it looked like on the surface, and that's for me. That was for me to work on, and I have. I'm not that person anymore. Some of you motherfuckers should be thankful. You all like to sit there and judge and talk the way you talk about me. Nobody says that shit to me. Nobody, dude. Nobody has. Doesn't matter whether you can fuck me up or not. I will fucking come after. I'm coming after your heart, dude. We already know this. That's why you don't say that shit. And Shalimar had that fucking. She had that summed up, dude. She had told me. It's not advice and shit, but she made a statement about me that was probably one of the most accurate observations of the relationships I have with, people I call my friends. This was a while after I'd cut everybody off, but, still like, motherfuckers want to hang out, I'm still rapping. It's not like I'm, got my head up my ass and my nose in the air and shit, and not talking to nobody, but, we're still rapping. And, she was saying this shit to hurt me, but it helped me tremendously. She had told me that you don't have any friends. All these people who pretend to be your friend, they're just afraid of you. And not like in a fucking, like I'm a fucking dangerous fucking human being. I'm a fucking, fucking murder you and shit, beat your ass, nothing like that, They're afraid of what I'm capable of. So it's easier and safer to keep me close than it is to have me as their enemy. That shit still hits me like a ton of bricks. It reiterated why I had wanted to make a change as a human being in the first place. Do you worse. Regret the day you fucking did it first, man. I'm not proud of some of this shit, man. I don't take pride in the fact that I have given so many pieces of me to women that didn't deserve it. That I used them and they used me, and all the running around and the secret shit and the fucking, the betrayal and all the shit talking, like all of it, man. None of it makes me feel good, But it has been the story of my life. Motherfuckers always hated on me for whatever reason, you know. Never understood it. Everybody always seemed like they were doing better off than I was, you know. They had more shit than I did, got to do more shit than I did, experience things first and experience shit together. Like, I was just a motherfucker who wanted to fit in. And then I thought that I stopped caring about what people thought, but I really just started giving people what they want. And the worse I became, the more attention I got. Until I became who I became. And now that I took off my mask, you know, and I've been finding me as a person, motherfuckers don't like me all over again. For those same reasons. Because it sounds the same. It feels the same, you know? That's okay this time around, you know? I'm not a little boy no more. Don't know how to fucking understand his emotions and the behavior of other people, you know? Just how some people are just fucking miserable, you know? Or some people they just want it all, you know? Or they just want what's yours for whatever fucking reason, you know? Yeah, I'm not gonna do none of that peacocking and shit, you know? Because I'm not that person no more, you know? But you motherfuckers know. You know. That's why that shit hit me like a ton of bricks. Because it's fucking true. All you motherfuckers who kept me close and shit, you know? I see it. That should be a reflection on you, though. You know? If you're worried about shit like that, like, just start treating your fucking old lady right, bud. You know? Bitches be fucking anything nowadays and shit, you know? So, you lose your fucking old lady to anybody. Give them what the fuck they want, you know? Straight up. Because, I mean, even too, like, I'm not looking to date nobody, you know? But I see it. I see what's out there. It's not good, man. You know, I've been out the game for a minute and shit. I didn't realize just how bad everything got. Like, it's a fucking minefield. What did I say yesterday is a fucking, Russians just left Afghanistan. Fucking minefield. It's bad. Yeah, I don't see myself dating for that reason. But the main reason is that I don't ever want to be who I was to somebody I'm trying to see if I want to spend the rest of my life with. I don't ever want to feel the ways that I have felt and treat people the way that I've treated them. Hurting each other, letting each other down. You know, I don't want anybody to want me either. That's why I don't give a fuck how any of this sounds. I'm not here to fuck. The fuck am I? I'm not pulling no bitches, you know? It's not my intention. In the fucking slightest, you know? Sound like a fucking victim half the time. But motherfuckers who know, they know why I'm doing this shit, you know? She knows why I'm doing this shit. Stop fucking hacking me, bud. You're fucking stupid, dude. You know, none of this shit has to fucking happen. You know? You're gonna fucking try to kill me. And everybody telling me, like, I gotta move on, I gotta let it go. Fuck that, bud. Shut the fuck up. Some of you motherfuckers sound more ridiculous than I do, bud. What the fuck? You know? That brings me to another point. You know, this long ass video is fucking 35 minutes, you know? I should only have like 3 viewers on this, like, to be honest with you. Like, I'm posting this shit on fucking YouTube, you know? Like, I'm not, you know... Nobody should be watching this shit, you know? Fucking, what the fuck you doing wasting your time? But fucking almost a goddamn hour just sitting there fucking rambling. But no, like... You know, when I started to change, man, I was on a high horse. I felt so good, so enlightened. I'm fucking just so in line, you know, like I'm moving those mountains, you know. And all you motherfuckers, you all are pieces of shit too, you know. You need to start doing some reflections, man. I just, you know, I probably sounded like such a fucking dickhead, you know. Even though like my intentions were good. I mean, I didn't have any ill intentions whatsoever. I was so free from the weight of my bullshit and my mask. I just wanted everybody to feel the same. You know, but who the fuck was I to say anything? To even think I could bring it up, you know? Just fucking, just out of touch, you know, with reality. But I meant well. You know, I've realized, you know, after getting shot, just how little people know about me. Just how guarded I have been about all this. I'm a cold motherfucker, man. God damn, I'm fragile. I hurt easy. You know? I always have. Always wore my heart on my sleeve. Just want to fit in. Just want to be loved, accepted, all that shit. And I started getting it in all the worst ways. I spent a couple years after the day I decided to change in 2021. I spent a couple years searching for who I was. Where are my morals? Where do I stand? Who am I really? And then it hit me the same day. I started believing in God, you know, a week before I got shot. Realized that the person I've been searching for all along was the same person I buried 16, 17 years ago, however long it was back then, you know. I've been looking for me this whole time. I've been right here. Life's a fucking trip, you know. I don't know how this one turned out. Like I said, I'm gonna post this shit. Like, I'm not even... There's just things I need to get out, you know? There's just things I need to say. You know, and this is something I've been trying to say for a long fucking time. It also is very hard. It's very hard to make these videos knowing like she's watching me at any given time, you know? You know, to see that she was watching me as I was getting murdered, as she set me up. You know, that does something to you. You know, and then not doing what your instincts tell you to do in those moments and shit do something to you too. You know, there's growth that comes along with that. There's a little bit of hardness to your soul that happens as well. And it's unfortunate that that happens, you know, that that had to happen to me. For her, you know, like, you deserve to get fucked up, dude, you know? You deserve to be done. Try to fucking kill me. That ain't me. So you take that and you internalize that shit. You become a colder person because of it. And it's like another thing that they take from you. You know? And I fucking hate that shit, you know? But I wouldn't give that bitch the fucking satisfaction even fucking feeling me again. You know? Keep talking, I'll keep addressing. Keep whispering, I'm gonna keep fucking posting. I don't fucking care. I don't really do shit anyways, you know? I don't really talk to anybody. So, I'm technically not talking to anybody right now. I'm just talking to my phone. You're the one who's fucking watching. For what? It's none of your business. Technically, everything I said is none of your fucking business. So think about that the next time you start talking shit, you know? Why you want my shit? Why you say my name? Why am I even being brought up still? Man, fucking... Yeah. Yeah, there's another video I gotta post soon, you know. It's the reason why my life is so fucked up. It's the one thing that's probably gonna make me sound the fucking craziest. Like, the absolute fucking craziest. But it's the realest thing I've ever experienced in my life. Just hope I get that shit right, man. It's fucking hard. It's hard to relive that shit, so... 45 fucking minutes, man. I'm a talker. Fucking exhausted. Gotta fucking clean. Put all my shit away. Still want the rest of my shit, bud. Want my fucking haircut too, homie.